if you sit in the back pew or the front pew. It's your voice we want to hear. The phone lines are open, so call 244-0077. Now, here's J. Michael McCoy.
All right, so here we sit. Oftentimes a broadcaster does not get a last broadcast. It has happened to me, and I have prevented others from having them. The fear is that the broadcaster will take revenge or say something horrible about the employer, the people at the radio station, sponsor, whoever it may be, and it's gone. You can't get it back. It's like trying to put toothpaste back in the tube. That happened to me several times. There were people that I had to excuse from my employment when I finally owned and ran radio stations. But there were also people that I trusted enough to give them their last broadcast, and it's a great gift to have. And even though, for those of you listening on the radio, we're going to be back Monday or Tuesday. Well, we'll be recorded tomorrow. We're leaving this studio downtown. And this studio started on December 28th of 2009 by a guy by the name of Rob Spearman, who came to me and said, I love what you're doing online. Would you like a really nice studio to do it from? And I said, yeah. And he brought me down here, which was the Remax Real Estate Concepts office on the Skywalk in downtown Des Moines. And he said, you can have this. You just use it till my lease is up, and then if you want to stay, pay the rent. And that was 6 years ago. And when we started out, and you can go, if you go to DesMoinesLocalLive.com, you can see some of the very, very original broadcasts. I think they're on YouTube. And you can see that in the beginning there was no Ryan. There was no Father Tattoo. There was no Dan. We ran it ourselves, and we had little cameras built into the laptops, and they just sat in front of us, and that was our camera. And we had no green screen technology. And what green screen technology is this. Ryan, shut it off for a minute, would you? Can you pan the cameras around a little bit? Or I could always take it and hold it. Would that be easier if I just grabbed one of them? But these are remote control cameras that Ryan runs with, guess what, a remote control. There you see out into the Skywalk. That's live out into the Skywalk. And that's a green sheet that hangs in front of the window, so we can have that there. If you keep going around, Ryan, can you show you? Are you able to go all the way around? There's Ryan in there. There he is. See, there he's waving. That's our production studio. That's where Ryan produces the shows from. So this is just a big green room. And with a flip of a switch, Ryan can bring back the background. And we can do whatever background you want. But Ryan, throw out some different backgrounds. Different shows have different backgrounds. I chose this because it kind of looks like stained glass windows. I didn't want it to look like we were from a church. This is a news anchor, like a WHO television background. And there's many others. There's I guess that'd be a DNA type of background, scientific. Harley Davidson. I mean, you can take a picture with your cell phone, and whatever that picture is, you can put it as the background. I think Ed always had the Capitol, didn't he? I think he had the Capitol as a former state legislator. When Bradshaw did his show, he broadcast live from the Death Star, I think. Wasn't he sitting in the Death Star from Star Wars? So, and our new studio, there it is. Our new studio will have green screen technology. It'll have everything we have here. It'll be improved through some stuff that Chris DeBolt and other folks are going to do. But as we made the decision to combine the radio station and the Webcast One studios, we're not combining the studios. We're just putting them in the same suite of office space down at Merle Hay Mall's tower. As I began to go through that consideration, I in the beginning I didn't want to put them together because this is a business on its own. We have 17 clients, I think 17, 18, that come down and produce shows that you don't hear on the radio. They're on the web. Very successful shows that are nationally known. and more shows to come. But it hit me today as I was driving off 235 and onto Keel Way, the ramp, and I thought, this is it. I'm not a downtown person. I don't come downtown. There's no reason for me to come downtown. And today may be the last day I come downtown for a long, long time. And I've been coming downtown 5 days a week, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year for 6 years. Been a big chunk of my life. I got sober down here. When we first got this studio, I was not sober. I was still fighting my alcoholism. And there were a lot of people that helped get us here. My wife, first of all, her love and patience and attention and nurturing is, I just hope every man out there has as good a wife. I hope every person married out there have as good a marriage and spouse that I do, because I married way above myself. If you know my wife, Jill King, is going, yeah, boy, you did marry above yourself. I want to thank Rob Spearman, because without him, this simply wouldn't have been possible. It would not have happened this way. I believe this was God's plan, and Rob was part of that plan. A couple people that most people probably don't think I should thank, a guy by the name of Rooster and a guy by the name of Max Crabb. They helped really screw this up. But because they screwed it up, guys like Rob Spearman and Amy Main and Dan Fry, and they were able to step in and make this thing happen. When Webcast One Live was first sought up, as I said, it was called Des Moines Local Live. And nobody was doing what we were doing. In the entire country, I would research and say, where is a local, web-based, passionate radio with pictures? That's what I call it. I don't call it TV. Passionate radio with pictures. Where is another one of these in the nation so I can see how to do it? And nobody had one. We had to create this all by ourselves. And we did, with God's help. Or maybe God created this with my help. That's probably the way I'd like to say that. The technology, we push technology to the end. We have what Ryan runs in there as a television studio. I've had friends of mine who are in television come down and look at what we've got, and they say, Mac, this is a television studio. I say, I know. But it isn't really. It's a radio studio. It's a passionate radio studio. It's where people come in and they share their passions. And people like Dave Burrier and Tamara Scott and Don DeWay and Doc and Lefty and so many other people, Frankie Meek, so many other people are going to step into our new studio, improved, better than ever. If I was marketing, it'd be the new improved, better than ever, now better than ever. But in the end, it's you. It's you, the listener. It's you, the viewer, that has made this possible. First day we were on the air was 144 people. I have it written down at home. Last quarter, we hit about 1.7 million people who downloaded this. So for those of you that are listening on the radio, we'll be back better than ever. You never saw the webcast, so you don't care. You just care about the radio, and I promise you we'll continue to bring you the best Jesus-centered biblical worldview teachings that we can. And for those of you on the radio, remember that forgiveness is the most important thing that you can give, because it's the most important thing that you'll ever get, and that's the grace from God. So for those of you listening on the radio, thank you for listening today. And we will see you again very, very soon. And we appreciate you listening. And most importantly, God bless you. Now, for those of you who are remaining here on the web, a special goodbye to you. Man, what a journey we've been through. And I know there's people who are watching this, maybe on a podcast, who were there in the beginning, who were there in the beginning of what we did. And we introduced the chat, and you could actually live chat with us while we were on the air. And nobody had seen anything like it. And I imagine if I was a man of 26 rather than 56, I would work much, much harder in making this just an incredible business model that was monetarily incredibly sound and successful and could support anybody. But that hasn't been my goal. It's been a ministry. After Jesus mugged me in 2011, my whole life changed. And for those of you that carry the Holy Spirit with you, that are blessed to have that, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that don't, I pray you find it. I pray that God blesses you with that gift. I pray that one day you know that personal relationship with Jesus that I have been so blessed to know, and I get to work around people who are blessed to know that. So from the downtown Skywalk Studios, for the very last time, I wish you adieu, And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for you being here with me and with all the other people that have helped get us here, the Wells Fargo girls, the Steve Stupka, the guys over at the parking ramp, the Palmer's folks, the Verizon folks, the kids over at the coffee shop who give me ice water every day. I thank you I from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you, and only the future knows what's ahead of us, but as long as God's got his hand on the top of it and underneath it and around it, I know it's going to be the best life ever. For the last time, we're done. Good night, and I'll see you in church.